You're watching the Eternal Tournament Series.
And we are back for round 4. We've got Magikarp versus Wake Forest. It's going to be a good matchup. I'm Mark, a.k.a. chibikawaii, in the booth with me. We got Ilyon. Ilyon, let's do a real quick breakdown of this matchup, and then let's get things going.
Well, we have Argenport again for Wake Forest. So we have another version of the Argenport deck. But we have, for Magikarp, we have an interesting Praxis tokens list. So we're going to see a bunch of Grenadin drones and Alluring Embers, Temple Scribes, just a bunch of ways to make a lot of really small units and then rally over the top Xenon Obelisk, Arcana Monitors. So it's kind of like an old school Praxis tokens list. I think it's a really interesting one. We're going to get going with the game here right now, though. We've got them waiting on mulligans. So we're going to slam right into the game. And we've gotten a pretty good hand here from Magikarp, I think. A little bit clunky.
I don't think you're keeping that. Yeah,
I
agree with Magikarp throwing it back. Yeah, this way it's a little bit slower, but now you have a crest. You have the Trailmaker. Still going to be able to assembly line on turn 3. It's a little bit whatever, but I'd take it over Wake Forest's hand right now.
Yeah, you do get to now get the Trailmaker into assembly line curve if you want, and you get the Scout immediately keeping that torch, which is pretty sweet. And yeah, Wake Forest's hand here, unfortunately, looking pretty lean.
Wake Forest also making the rookie mistake of playing the premium Argenport banner before playing the non-premium Argenport banner. So now we have a less pretty hand to look at. Common mistake with newer players. I understand it, but just something to look out for.
Yeah, just something that we really miss here on coverage, where we just don't get to see something as nice for a couple turns.
Yeah, Magikarp, though, being able to play out the Praxis banner of their own, thanks to this Trailmaker, go ahead and beats face, plays the assembly line. Wake Forest sitting at 23, Magikarp sitting at 25. Wake Forest throwing out a Valkyrie and Force are going to silence this Trailmaker. Magikarp responding with a torch. Yeah, puts it down a little bit. But with 2 Heart of the Vaults for Magikarp, as long as 1 power is drawn, it's not looking great.
Yeah, no, slamming in that torch, I think, made perfect sense. You just got so much pressure here from the Praxis tokens list right now, and you know that you're playing against Argenport. They're not going to have any sweepers. You just get to keep going wide. It's a pretty sweet little list against Argenport, I think.
Oh, I agree completely. Wake Forest sitting at 18 life, thanks to the barrage of attacks from the little guys on Magikarp's side. Magikarp still sitting at 26, not having done much. Oh, another torch in hand for Magikarp. Wake Forest goes ahead and decides to play that Arc Interrogator, still whiffing on power. This torch is going to take care of that. That's going to open up for an attack for 6 and an Obliterate off the top. Wow.
So do you hold the Obliterate worried about a blocker? I think that you do, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so they're going to choose to do that. I could honestly see going for it just because you have so much pressure here and you can go wide.
Yeah,
but the problem is that is really the life. Yeah.
Even without that, though, you have the ability to do that on your next turn, right? So, if they whiff and they don't get to play anything and then you drop them to 6, then you just win right there. So I don't think there's any benefit to playing it.
But just imagine curving out your Heart of the Vault.
But that still doesn't do anything, though, right?
No, it doesn't do that. And the game's already over here.
Yeah.
Just too strong of a hand from Magikarp, and Wake Forest having a really awkward, clunky draw quickly decides that one. So really, really fast game. I think we're going to see some pretty quick ones here from these 2 decks. We've got sideboard out of the fish tokens, the Praxis tokens list here. Scorpion Wasp to stop some, Voltron-y kind of cards from the Argenport list. You do have the Inquisitor's Blade play here from this Argenport list. So you've got the Tavrod Inquisitor's Blade. I could certainly see throwing in both of the Scorpion Wasps. Do you put in Crimson Firemaw?
Let's see. Actually, Wake Forest has almost no flyers. Unseen Commando is the only fly. Oh, no. Valkyrie Enforcer.
You have Enforcer. You have the double Inquisitor's
and the blade. Yeah.
And you have Commando doesn't really stop it, but you could do that. So it's If you can curve into it, it's really strong is the thing. I don't know that you'd put it in. I definitely see Scorpion Wasp coming in because it's just a really good answer to Tavrod, and especially if they manage to get a blade on it.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Flamestoker?
I think you're winning this game before Flamestoker becomes an issue, and they like Flamestoker doesn't really do anything against a Tavrod or any of their creatures with a weapon on it, or well, not any of their. I guess it still does a good amount of. I just think it's too slow. I think the game has been decided at that point. I think you want the Flamestokers really when you're against control and they're constantly sweeping your board, and that just gives you a threat that you get to play every turn. Because like Sabotage honestly isn't even that great. Like it's not bad in this matchup against Magikarp's deck, but it's not at its best by any stretch of the imagination either. So like, I don't know. I don't think you need Flamestoker. Honestly, like, and like, what are you cutting for it, too?
Yeah,
like,
that's really fair. I mean, Flamestoker is great if they don't have Tavrod, but I mean, Tavrod just blanks it so thoroughly. So yeah, I mean, I don't see siding that in. I definitely see the Wasps. I'm not sure if you'd put anything else besides that. You're not really going to need any Shattered Glasses, and Carnosaur is really bad against Tavrod, so I don't know if you really want to have that either.
I mean, well, it's good against Tavrod if you have an Obelisk, right?
It is if you have an Obelisk,
and it's another big threat. That I would argue I would like over Flamestoker, because like again, like if Tavrod's going to come down a turn before your Flamestoker is going to come down. You don't have a great way of answering the Tavrod once it's down, and if the game has made it that far, you have bigger issues on your plate, arguably.
I think that your goal here as this tokens list is to go wide and finish them before Tavrod becomes a big enough of a deal.
Yeah,
and we've got the hands here up if we're ready to go.
Yeah, we definitely are. So I'm looking. Man, this is a risky keep on Magikarp side of things. However, they are on the draw, and they do have this crest, so they're going to get a scout off of it. But I do agree with just throwing that back. I think you can get a better hand, and this is exactly what we see. We're going to be able to get a turn 1 Grenadin drone into it's going to go Grenadin drone. Then you're going to be able to play Crest on turn 2. Turn 3, you're going to have Amber Acolyte into a turn 4 Xenonopolis. It's going to be good stuff. And we're looking over at Wake Forest side. Wake Forest actually does have power now and 2 Unseen Commandos.
Oh man, Unseen Commando is going to just be a really tough card for them to answer here. And we're getting a Auric Interrogator to kind of top off with it. Both of these decks right now have some really good draws. Oh, sweet. That's a great hit here. So you just Alluring Ember and Crest at the same time, right? Alluring Ember first, then you Crest.
Yeah.
So that's a nice top deck for Magikarp. I don't think you'd bother playing the Temple Scribe here.
No.
Although we might see that happen.
You could, but I like the idea of curving Amber Acolyte into, or guaranteeing you go, what?
I think that was just a little bit of a play mistake, playing the Crest before playing the Ember. Although you probably end up keeping the Heart of the Vault on top still, right? Because I mean, you have Amber Acolyte. I think that you're okay with it.
Yeah.
I don't think you're punished for it. I'm not saying it was the right play, but I'm just saying I don't think they get punished for it.
The sequencing could have been tighter. That's yeah. Right. Fair enough. Oh, so Wake Forest deciding what they want to play here. I don't know why you would play anything other than Unseen Commando.
Yeah, Commando is just too good here. And us knowing what Magikarp's hand is definitely an advantage, because you've got to think that they're going to have, some number of torches and whatever. But I mean, you still slam it out there, no question.
Well, but also given their hand, right? Like, you're not playing Paladin because it's not that great. That's not going to be anything on the board. If you're worried about Torch is still going to answer your Interrogator as well. And this is at least giving you some lifesteal that you're going to be able to play.
Absolutely. But you got to go around those.
Oh, wow. I
would have just slammed another.
Yeah.
I think that I just slam another. I slam another Unseen Commando, and I'd probably attack with that Commando even.
Yes.
Try and put a little bit of pressure down, gain some life, get out of range here.
You're gaining 4 life, right? At that point, even if you didn't block anything on the next turn, you're only taking 1 damage. You're effectively taking 1 damage. This leads to a much bigger attack this time around, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's the argument, is that this leads to a really, really large attack. Us knowing that there's a obelisk in hand, you know, kind of helps us out here, because we know that there's going to be some decent blocks from Magikarp's side if they want to have it. But yeah, double Unseen Commando is a tough thing for them to answer here. I mean, Marison's Disciple can make a 2/2 flyer, but gets 3/3 because of the obelisk. It's still not big enough to really be that big of a deal, though. Like, these Unseen Commandos just go right over it. They really need to find themselves a torch. So I'd imagine that we get an Amber Acolyte into a Temple Scribe here to try and dig for it.
Yeah, well, there's the Fire Influence. Temple Scribe going to be able to be played here into a time. All right, so Heart of the Vault going to be able to be played. That's going to give another... It's going to give another draw towards something like a torch. This also might be a reason for Purify to come in. It's just these Unseen Commandos are just such a big...
Yeah, there's no real good answer to flyers with a lot of the Magikarp list here. It's really, really weak to the Commandos. A lot of times you don't mind about other flyers because of the fact that you can just race them on the ground by going wide. But if they've got the life gain, then you're in a lot of trouble, as we're seeing here.
Yeah, so now I'm curious, do you play Disciple, make a Locust, and then hope that you can double block, or do you just go ahead and run out this Heart of the Vault?
Oh, I mean... That's a really tough one. I think that at this point you would... I might just Heart of the Vault. Just simply be... Attack here seems tough. But I guess if you're playing Heart of the Vault, then you can...
Yeah, that's true.
But I don't like it, because, I mean, the reason to play Heart of the Vault is that you're worried that they just kill your 2/2 blocker, right? Like, you're worried they kill one of the flyers of the sleigh, in which case they're going to be able to do that with the Heart of the Vault and be able to slam back for a bunch. So I'm not sure that I like doing that first. I'd probably play Heart of the Vault before an attack.
Yeah.
If I was going to do that, and then just attack at the 3/2 maybe. But
I mean, but like you have the benefit of, if Auric Interrogator does block the Temple Scribe, then you can use the Heart of the Vault to finish off the Interrogator. So I think that was the idea. Here, hopefully we'll see Crest of Impulse be played first. And then you can decide what you want to do on your turn, because you have the potential of digging into a torch if you find the torch.
Yeah, and we're gonna attack first. I don't mind. I don't mind attacking first.
Yeah, but I would have liked to have seen the same type of attack that we saw last turn, right? And making a Heart of the Vault able to hit the Auric Interrogator. They're gonna, Magikarp decides to take a little bit different line, gonna go a little wider, can actually eat one of these Unseen Commandos now, which is very, very big, but still gonna fall down to 3.
They're not gonna eat it now, because they just hit a Valkyrie Enforcer. So
no, they are not. That was
boom.
Not a bad draw.
Now we're chump blocking. Wow. And this is going to be a tough one for them to climb out of. They really needed to hit a torch off of this Heart of the Vault. So I don't see how Magikarp gets out of this one. Torch is not a saving grace anymore, and Heart of the Vault doesn't do enough. So I think that this is just to scoop them up. Can't really raise 40 life here. Well, hit the Purify. So, I mean, I get to Purify the 5/3, but that's not going to be enough. So we're going to see a game 3 here is what's going to happen. And I don't know why we're not seeing just a scoop. It's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, well, there's a Purify.
Yeah, there was the Purify for the 5/3, but it's just not enough. 40 damage is not something they can deal here. They can deal a lot. Like, it is a ton of damage that comes down here with this Xenon Obelisk, but it's still not 40. Like I said, any other flyers, and it would be okay, right? Because you can actually race them on the ground like we see here. Like, that was a lot of damage. It's 23 damage coming down. But because of the life gain, you just can't really race those Unseen Commandos. It's so important to hit those torches and hit those Purifies just for Commando. And so we did see both of the Purifies come in from the sideboard, I'm sure, just to get rid of those Commandos. We didn't see Scorpion Wasp, but I would be very surprised if it wasn't in the list. And the Argenport list did side in Crown Watch Trader, possibly. I mean, we saw one. They have 2 main deck, but we did they have 2 in the sideboard as well. So they certainly weren't taking any out, anyways.
Yeah, I'm also curious what Magikarp took out for like we saw at least Purify, and I agree that Scorpion Wasp seems like it's going to be coming in.
I feel like Arcana Monitor is actually something that you don't mind as taking out as much here against the list, because it is one of the cards that actually turns on Slay a little bit. Like,
you don't Vanquish, you mean? Or
Vanquish or Slay. I mean, the thing is that Slay is pretty bad against the list that's playing a bunch of 1/1s, right? Like,
true.
If you're, whereas you're giving them a good target with Arcana Monitor.
Yeah, but I mean, like, Heart of the Vault's always going to be a good target. Like, whatever Marchant's Disciple may. I don't know.
I think you have enough way. Like, you're already able to go wide pretty well against the Argenport list, so I don't think that you mind not having one extra way to pump them all when you already have 4 obelisks, because you already have the rallies. Like, I think that the go wide strategy is decent there already, and you don't need to have too many targets for them to get. At least Heart of the Vault, when it comes down, gives you something to do, right? Like, it actually gets you value, and you can warp it off the top. So it gives you a lot of value, even if it just gets killed right away. So it's hard to take Heart of the Vault out, but
arguably the same thing with Arcane Monitor. I would actually argue that you could probably cut a little bit on the Obliterates, right? Because again, you're not really worried about your creatures dying the entire time, and Obliterate doesn't really answer the Tavrod. It does answer everything else in the deck, so maybe that's wrong.
Yeah, that's what I like about the Obliterate, is it does answer all the other cards. So it's a tough one to say what they took out.
We do see that Magikarp did leave in the Arcanum
Monitor. Yeah.
Arcanum. That's how we speak. Okay.
Arcanum.
Mansus. Dr. Mansus. No, that's right. Sorry. Just Mansus. Did not go to medical
no doctor,
school.
No PhD.
Yes. Esquire? Maybe Mansus Esquire. That makes sense to me.
So oh man, Wake Forest looking at a hand here, deciding whether or not to throw it back. A lot of crest. It's really slow.
It
has a Vara's Favor.
Yeah, given Magikarp's hand, I think that hand for Wake Forest, great.
Yes, yeah, I definitely keep it knowing what Magikarp's hand is, but not knowing.
Yeah,
not knowing is tough, because basically we're looking at like double crest, an Argenport banner, Auric Interrogator, Tavrod, Crown Watch, and a Vara's Favor. So you've got some good. They kept it. They kept it. I think that's going to work out pretty well for them. I mean, it's slow, but if they can, Vara's Favor this initiate, then it's pretty devastating for Magikarp.
Yeah. However, if Assembly Line had come off the top there for Magikarp, backbreaking. Especially given the Purifies and the Torches that are in hand for Magikarp. Okay, yeah, not able to fight. So one more turn to get a little bit more value. March's Disciple is a card that Magikarp, I'm sure, was hoping for, making use of that extra power from the Initiative Sands. Probably going to get a 3/3. Yeah, look at that.
Try and put as much pressure down on the board here as possible. We've got to see. I mean, now it's unfortunate for Wake Forest having not been able to play that turn 2 Vara's Favor.
Yeah,
probably just going to play an Unseen Commando and get it eaten by a Torch, right?
Yeah, you'd have to imagine.
I could see the argument for Auric Interrogator to try and draw out the first Torch, because you want to keep your commando alive, and you're not going to be blocking. Like, it doesn't block the same things. Like, it's still.
All
right. We're not seeing any of those. We're just going to see a commando and pass, or not commando. Sorry, paladin and pass.
And I actually do. I like this attack from Magikarp as well. Because do you care about the March and Disciple? Not really. Do you care about the Initiative Sands at this point?
No, you just go straight for the face. And that's why the tokens list is kind of sweet against something like Argenport. Like, Slay doesn't matter that much. You don't really care about a lot of your individual units.
And did you catch the Scout?
Yes, that obelisk is looking great.
Oh boy. Because they're going to be able, Magikarp's going to be able to answer anything that Wake Forest plays on this turn.
Yeah, even Crown Watch doesn't really matter, because Crown Watch comes down and
stats flip.
It's not going to do anything. It's stats flip, torches it, and it's over. So here comes the torch for the Unseen Commando, I'm sure.
Yep, and then Obelisk off the top. That's going to pump the team, play another power. You still have this torch at the ready.
This is backbreaking.
However, Tavrod is going to be able to come down this turn, but if Tavrod blocks anything, still not good.
I mean, you just purify it and swing out, right? Or obliterate plus torch gets
You just
it.
win. You just win. Yeah. No. You just go face. Yeah.
Just go face. I was thinking that you torch the Tavrod and then obliterate with the overwhelm and attack in, and I think that's lethal too. But,
it is still lethal. Yeah. I mean, he had. I think that would have been the way that I would prefer Magikarp to win. Would just been like, you were dead. You were so
and
dead.
Your Tavrod's dead.
Oh man.
Your son are dead. But yeah, just a brutal top decks for Magikarp there. That was some really, really strong draws. It looked like a decent hand for Wake Forest, but Magikarp just drew out of like what looked like a kind of awkward opener with very, very few units by just hitting like Marison's Disciple into Obelisk and to obliterate and just kind of having all the answers, right?
Yeah, and the important thing there too is just having the answer to the Unseen Commando on the turn that the Unseen Commando was played and not allowing any sort of life gain coming from that was a huge determination there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like Torch and Purify are just incredibly important in this matchup. I think that Unseen Commando, there's no real flyers and no Sandstorm Titans or anything like that coming in from the tokens list, so you're just going to get run over by Commando if you don't have an answer for it. And we saw it the last game, right, where they had a ton of damage on board. They had 23 damage to go through, but it didn't matter because Commando had just gained so much life. But this time, with Torches and Purifies, it's pretty easy.
Yeah, it turns out trying to deal with a 16-point life swing every turn is a little difficult.
Yeah. It's going to be, as it turns out, yeah. You can't really deal with 4 or 5 lifesteal flyers when you don't have any blockers.
Yeah. But, so again, congratulations to Magikarp. They're taking it down over Wake Forest. Looks like we're not going to be getting another... Well, maybe.
Looks like we're getting a backup with... Well, maybe. It looks like we have Mulligan versus ThePlatypusKing with Mulligan up a game. So we're gonna try and jump in on this one. We've got ThePlatypusKing as our main cam here in just a minute. And we're starting in. We have Moment of Creation from ThePlatypusKing versus Mulligan here on Ikaria Blue, I believe. Getting their full deck lists here right now. And we have Flamestoker in play from ThePlatypusKing right now. And we're just pulling that up. We have FTP Moment from ThePlatypusKing. We currently see an Infernus and a Moment for 10 that comes down. So we've got 2 10/10s with Mulligan at 10.
Yeah, just a casual 20 power out of the board. Mulligan, though, has the harsh rule, able to clean that up.
They can't clean it up twice, though. No, not a second harsh rule.
I
like that we're seeing Flamestoker versus Flamestokers here, too.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And I think if you believe hard enough, you can probably get through 24 power on the board.
Oh, we do. Wait, they have an unseal, though. I missed the unseal in hand. So they can unseal the Moment if Platypus goes for it.
That's why, I don't know. I actually kind of like... I kind of like Devoted Thurge into Sandstorm Titan, right? Or just Heart of the Vault. That's an unseal.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Their own unseal is pretty great here, honestly. Just stops any harsh rule top decks. Is there any way for Mulligan to get out of that, actually? That's pretty backbreaking. They're facing down an Infernus, a Heart of the Vault, a Devoted Theurge, and there's an unseal backup. So even if there's a board wipe, then they're just gone.
I think Platy's taking this down, right? Yeah, there's got to be.
Yeah, I don't see a way out. I mean, they can Staff of Stories, Permafrost, and Unseal on that. Unseal is going to come back out from Mulligan, but that's just game anyways.
Yeah, that still leaves 9 power swinging at you. Yeah, all right.
Because you can stop. Yeah, you can stop the Permafrost from being countered, but you can't stop your life from being at 7.
Yeah, that Flamestoker making the 5/5 Infernus on the next turn. That's what really was going to do it. That on top of the Devoted Thurge. The Devoted Thurge even could have been pumped to a 5/5. So yeah, given that 7 there, I believe we're going to get a game 3.
Yep, that's exactly what's going to happen. Mulligan took down game 1, so now we're seeing a game 3 out of this one. And we're just waiting for the players to sideboard with this FTP moment. Let me just, I'm going to see what we've got here for Mulligan's list.
Well, we saw Mulligan earlier, so Mulligan is
Mulligan
on that Fire
Justice
exactly Primal Control. Yeah, so they've got the 2 boars, they've got 1 Permafrost, they've got a Protect, they've got 2 Unseals, they have 2 Vanquish, 2 Hailstorm, 4 Valkyrie Enforcer, and then 1 Ikaria.
After seeing that Flamestoker, do you put in Boar?
Yeah.
I mean, there's really not a lot to hit, though. It's just Boar. Like, it's just the Flamestoker. There's one of a Flamestoker in an FTP moment.
It's so backbreaking, though. Given that you are like a random control deck and like how good is Hailstorm in the matchup, right? Like I don't know. Like I guess it depends on if you think that you've got enough that you can bring out. I think a 1 of Boar is perfectly reasonable.
That's fair. I mean, it is pretty tough to battle with Flamestoker unless you have your own, I suppose. But attacking back and forth through that isn't what you want to do. Exactly.
I mean, it's just it's so backbreaking in the matchup. That's I think. Because like I'm looking like the Arc Rune Hammers are like those are questionable. Those are probably some of the later things that I would end up cutting. But I'm looking at the Vanquishes, which are like medium. Eileen's Choices seem all right. Eye of Winter medium. Torches medium. Yeah. Granted, I do not have Platypus's list directly in front of me at this moment, but from what I know from playing the moment deck, a lot of those things are kind of medium. And obviously I want those on Seals really badly. I want the Ikaria. I think you have more that you can take out than what you would like bring in even in like the best of times, right?
Sure, absolutely. It seems like it's going to be a tough one for this stoked list from Mulligan to get there, right? I mean, I think the FTP moment's got a pretty good chance of taking this down.
I mean, if Mulligan can curve into Flamestokers, I think I think they're fine. I think Mulligan is fine if they can do that because I mean the moment deck is still a control deck. It is still pretty slow. It's not doing a ton until a little bit later in the game. Like, are the Devoted Thurges, are those main deck or are those sideboard?
That's a sideboard choice.
Exactly.
Like,
so
I'm wondering, but is Flamestoker that much of a like trump card here when you're looking at 4 Sandstone Titans, 4 Heart of the Vaults, like 4 Moment of Creation, Mullet Nikova? Like it kind of isn't, right? They all get blanked by that. It's still good, but it's not the end all be all that it is normally. It's not an automatic win a lot of the time.
Which that's definitely fair. I just I don't know. It's Mulligan's only like real way of dealing with anything. So when Platypus draws the Flamestoker again, wow.
Yeah, that one of Flamestoker just kind of getting in there,
and has the triple really fire influence right now.
Yeah, and it's key in this matchup. I think it's really tough for a weapons list to deal with the Flamestoker. That's always been a major problem for it. Charge units are tough to deal with when you're playing a bunch of weapons, and yeah, I mean Mulligan. I don't know that they're going to have a great way to stop this. I mean, in their hand, they have nothing really.
Yeah. Actually, all right. So that Crest of Impulse for Platypus here, that's, I feel like, the nail in the coffin. If there hadn't been a second time source coming up for Platypus, they're not really doing anything for quite a while. It gives Mulligan a little bit more of a chance to draw into some good shenanigans, but yeah, it's not looking great at the moment. Platypus also sitting with that torch in hand, going to be able to answer anything that is risen for too. Right?
Yeah. Most stuff. They're just in great shape right now. You've got Crest of Impulse, the Wisdom of Elders. They're able to just dig, and they should be able to hit all of the power that they need to get everything online. I mean, they already have 6, so they're kind of just set up, waiting to go. It's just a matter of time now. We do see a Flamestoker from Mulligan's side, so it's certainly not over.
Ooh, and there's the boar. And there's the boar from Mulligan.
Oh wow, they hit the boar. All right, so we've got like the 1 or 2 ofs from both sides here. So Flamestoker is going to be answered by Mulligan. I imagine, did Mulligan put in Ikaria for this rise?
You would hope so, right?
I'd hope so, right? Like, yeah, I was gonna say, like, I've got to think that they did. It does get blanked by Sandstone Titan a bit, but it still seems good enough to definitely put in. I mean, it's really only Sandstorm Titan that you're super worried about. So with that,
and you have answers to Sandstorm Titan too. So
yeah, well, exactly. That's the only real answer to Ikaria as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a real toss-up of a game right now. I mean, it kind of just depends on whether or not Mulligan has a really good card to get for this rise. And I mean, the Flamestoker we know is blank. There's a lot of Heart of the Vaults in ThePlatypusKing's hand, though.
Yeah, which is definitely an issue. There's also like wait, did they bottom a Moment of Creation? I thought there was a second Moment of Creation in hand, or did that get bottomed off that Strategize? Am I losing my mind? I'll also accept I'm losing my mind.
I think you're losing your mind.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure they didn't have a second moment.
That's fair. All right, but they still have 2 Heart of the Vaults and a Moment and a Sandstorm Titan. Mulligan does have, like, again, the Boar for the Flamestoker. It now has a 6. Yeah, I don't know, but they're also a Fire Sigil Sword, or a Fire Influence Sword for Mulligan. Platypus, not having that issue, decides to go ahead and slam the Flamestoker instead of playing the Heart of the Vault.
Which makes sense. You think that, like, you know that there's only the possibility of Boar, and you know that, like, it's only a 2 of out of the sideboard, so the odds that they have it are pretty low. It just turns out that in this case they had it. So I mean, sometimes you get there. Discarding the second Boar, probably a good choice.
Yeah, now Platypus is going to be able to play this Seek power, get a power, play the power, play the Heart. Yeah. And that Seek power, giving them the 3rd time influence. Heart of the Vault now coming down, going to take away the armor from Mulligan, draw a Crust of Impulse. That's not doing much, but this also means that Moment of Creation is now turned on.
Yeah. Gotta love Boar making copies of itself.
Yeah.
I mean,
discarding them at the end of the turn. Yeah.
I always forget exactly how that works. I know that you can kill multiple things, but yeah, just don't pay into it. You get extra copies. And that's
wow.
Shatterglass Mage off the top, able to pop out this Eye of Winter. You've got to go for it, right?
Oh yeah.
You don't know that they have a flame. You don't know that they have a Flamestoker in hand. And honestly, even with the Flamestoker, like I kind of said before, I mean, it gets trumped by all these Heart of the Vaults and Sandstorm Titans. Like, okay, you get 5/5s. I have 6/6s.
Yep.
You don't really mind them having a Flamestoker, but you do care a lot about this Eye of Winter stopping your big fatties.
Exactly. So and you're getting card advantage this way by playing the Warp unit.
Yeah, I have to admit, I can't turn down the Warp advantage when I get it.
Yeah, and like you're still leaving up Torch and
going for Moment of Creation.
Oh, okay. All right.
Ignoring everything we're saying, going for the maximum amount of power. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, this uses the power the optimal way, and it leaves them with Eileen's Intervention or Torch up. So I don't mind that.
Like if Mulligan has a harsh rule, then you just like set yourself back. I don't know. I don't think it actually matters. I think Platypus is pretty far ahead here, but you know.
I mean, if they have a harsh rule, you're kind of walking into it a little bit no matter what. And if they harsh rule, you still have Heart of the Vault, Sandstorm Titan, Shatterglass. Like, you're still great. You still have a ton of gas in hand. So you don't put anything else onto the board. Like, don't get me wrong. But, I mean, I don't mind doing this.
Yeah, Mulligan, though, does have the play of Rune Hammering away the Heart of the Vault. And then... I guess they could Vanquish, or actually, no, they can go Permafrost, right?
Yeah, they can go Permafrost. So I imagine that it's Permafrost, and then Auric Runehammer away the 6/6. Maybe just Permafrost.
Or Stun the Heart of the Vault.
They can Vanquish. They could Vanquish as well. Like there's a lot of options here to go with, because they'll stun one of them probably just to save on cards in hand, but it's hard to say.
Yeah, and I guess until you have the harsh rule, you probably don't want to play your Auric Runehammer just so you can leave that in hand and be able to actually beat face with it a little bit.
Yeah, you want to be able to clean up something afterwards. I don't know how much removal
or not, I guess.
Nope. You don't want to use all of your removal before you get a harsh rule either, because if you harsh rule and then they play a bunch of things afterwards, and you've already used all your removal, that's not ideal. But yeah, Shatterglass gets a lot of options here now. I'm also bottoming that Equivocate.
Yeah, I'm also kind of surprised the Equivocates are in here. Like, still, the
Oh, good.
Equivocate is going to be able to bounce one of these animated Sentinels, and they're going to be able to get a free 7/7 out of that, which is pretty good. But
Yeah. They're just going to keep the Equivocate on top. Like you said, possibly just to bounce one of the 7/7s, get it out from under a Permafrost. Makes a lot of sense that way, I suppose. But I think there's a ton of gas already. I wouldn't mind just digging for like another Heart of the Vault or another moment.
yeah, there's a lot of good 7-drops. Yeah, right, because the Equivocate is almost okay. Is there a creature in Mulligan's deck that I'm forgetting about that Equivocate would be good against?
I mean, Ikaria. They can Eileen's Intervention and Equivocate the Ikaria if Mulligan has put it in.
Okay, I guess so.
Because you could certainly do that.
Yeah, all right.
Like that's an option. You don't really have a lot of answers to Ikaria, I guess, is maybe the thinking.
You have 2 Sandstorm Titans in your hand.
Yeah, I know, but like if you're worried about a harsh rule, like
but
honestly, right now Platypus isn't worried about much. Let's put it this way: Platypus is firmly in the driver's seat, not super worried about anything. So I guess just like Equivocate is just like a maybe an oh shit button just in case is fine, right? But I mean, oh wow, unseal to stop any harsh rules.
But this is 2 turns now. This is 2 turns now, though, that like another 7 costed creature could be smacking face.
Yeah, I honestly, personally, I think that I wouldn't have killed the Flamestoker. I think I'd have gone for the Eye of Winter and just not cared about getting 5/5s.
Yeah, I agree with you.
That might just be me.
All right, now I don't know. Now I'm feeling very confident we should be seeing this Equivocate on the Sentinel to balance it, get us. All right.
Yeah, it seems like you'd want to do that to get a bunch of gas. We're going to see Equivocate on main phase.
Okay, yeah.
Which is fine. I mean, it doesn't really matter when you play it because it's 0 cost, so you're not really in any downside there. You get to see an extra card by playing it main phase.
Okay.
So you do get a little more information. Like if you're not playing it at the end of their turn, it's 0 cost. There's no downside to playing it main phase and just seeing an extra
What if it
card.
has ambush?
Yeah, okay, I guess that's fair. There's not a lot of 7s with ambush though, right? Reiner Contact, I think.
Don't apply logic to this. All right. I'm just trying to make myself a little bit more correct. That's what we're going for here. Devoted Thurge though, gonna be able to become a 5/5.
No, I don't think you bother with that. I think you just play a Sandstorm Titan and you've got an unseal, so you don't really care if
yeah, I guess they only have 1 card in hand, but if that's
they only have 1 card in hand and you have an unseal, so I think you're okay with that.
But if they have, I'm just saying, like, that 1 card's been sitting in their hand for a while. Yes, it could have been a Vanquish, but what if it was, like, I'm just, like, worried if that was an unseal, and then they draw the harsh rule, or they had the harsh rule in hand and they were waiting for an unseal in order to get through. But I guess you have Eileen's Intervention in order to counter.
No, you can't count. You can't counter unseal. It has to be 3 costs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You'd be able to counter backlash or unseal whatever they might have.
No, you can't. You can't. What? It has to be exactly.
Oh! It's not 3 costs or less.
No,
yeah, there we go.
Exactly.
There we go.
Cost. Yeah.
Okay, so I was like, I'm not gonna lie. Earlier, I was like, Eileen's Intervention seems insane. Why is that not seeing more play? And then that makes
because it doesn't quite do exactly.
Yeah.
I don't mind just. You're so far ahead on the board. I think that you just try and finish the game up fast before they do a bunch of top deck game. Yep, that's going to be it.
That's an unseal off the top because Mulligan had to be able to answer both of the creatures on board right now because of the double torches in Platypus's hand.
Ooh, and Mullet Nakova.
Oh, nice. Man. All right. No. You're supposed to torch and then play Mullet and then attack.
You're supposed to double torch Mullet Nakova, and you don't have to attack.
No. You torch your own unit.
No.
You show them. You show them what's up, right?
But showing them what's up is not even bothering to attack. I got all these units; they don't even have to go face.
That's true.
So we just see Platypus just kind of overwhelmed with just a massive amount of large units. I mean, that's really what it is. It's just everything in Platypus's deck was just way bigger than what Mulligan can deal with, right? Like Auric Runehammers don't tend to clean up things like Heart of the Vault particularly well. and it's too big. Everything in the deck is huge, and you have to have harsh rules, you have to have vanquishes for everything. When every card is a must answer, it gets really, really hard for that deck to kind of pull ahead.
Agreed. Definitely agreed. But yeah, congratulations to all players involved there. That's going to be it for round 4. That was our last match. We do want to talk a little bit about this little recap show / fun eternal general going on show, best of 3. Do you know anything about this, Ilyon?
You bet I do. Best of 3 is a show from aReNGee and Rick Henner. They're doing a tournament recap show tomorrow called Best of 3. Broadcasts on the same Twitch channel starting at 8 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday. Sorry, not tomorrow. I thought it was Monday, so it must have changed days. It's on Tuesday instead. It's a rundown of the tournament meta, so they're just going to kind of recap the whole thing. They're going to talk about stats, interesting decks that showed up, how the ETS season as a whole is shaping up, and usually they're going to have an interview with the recent tournament winner as well. So they're going to try and get some of our tournament winners on the line and go over that.
Yeah,
you should definitely check that out on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern.
I think I will. Thank you, Ilyon. Very much appreciate that cool running down of the best of 3. But as we said, that's going to be our last match. We're going to try to get this round turned around very quickly. Coming back with round 5. So please stay tuned. We'll see you guys then.